Anytime you go for a domestic pressure washer, you'll often find that you get a very basic trigger and lance combination. Normally it's plastic and brass, and you'll be lucky to get 1 to 2 years out of it. Now, I know there's some of you out there who love a big pressure washer upgrade, and you like to go for a good bargain, and you can get those stubby guns for around 25 to 50 pounds, which are all well and good. Look, they're darn sight better than this plastic stuff that you've got here. But over time, you will find that having brass fittings is definitely not the way forwards, because brass is a lot softer than stainless steel. And I was looking at my own stubby gun and my lance the other day, and I thought this has been fantastic. It's been solid since I've had it, but I have been putting it through some very treacherous times. And I thought, do you know what? This would be a great opportunity to get myself an upgrade. And boy, what an upgrade. This tool doesn't take detailing to the next level, it takes detailing to the highest level. It's a collective combination between Switzerland, Italy, America and Britain to make the ultimate pressure sprayer. Wow, this is pretty special. So in my hand I have the best trigger, lance and nozzle combination on the entire planet. So I feel very privileged today, and I'm looking forward to trying this out later on. What we're going to do is start off with the lance, the midsection, and this is from a company called Mosmatic. So basically Mosmatic are like the Rolex for the detailing industry. So we've got a 15-degree bend here. The lance is very lightweight, and we have stainless steel fittings. And I tell you what, I never get bored of this sound. Listen to this. It's very satisfying. I do love a good quick release. What man doesn't? But it's not all about having a superior wand. It's just as important to have a rubbery tip. And I've also got a Mosmatic nozzle here, which is rubber and stainless steel as one piece, so there's no interfering with it. And this is just, oh God, look at that, it's sensational, isn't it? Really good quality, and the reason they've gone for rubber is because if you're working on a car and you did accidentally knock it, the odds are you're not going to cause any damage, unlike some of these that have just got plastic tips. So there is a big difference between this. I know you're probably looking at it going, Dave, come on, don't get so excited. But yeah, this is a serious piece of kit. So this is the MTM SGS28, one of the best triggers that you can currently get out there at the minute. Now it has got a super soft trigger, so if you're working away for long hours, you're definitely not going to get any hand fatigue. I mean, look, even with my little finger, it's just effortless. So what they did was they took the SGS28, they've put a gold plate on it here, but then they've upgraded it one step further. So what they have done is put Mosmatic fittings on this. So now we have a Mosmatic masterpiece, which we have right here. It's just stunning. The good thing about these stubby gun setups is they can work alongside your Karcher, Nilfisk and AVA. So you don't have to have a commercial pressure washer to get the same benefits. So looking at my current setup, some of it is brass, some of it's stainless steel, so it's not really a flawless setup I have here, but it's still very good nevertheless. But one piece we can take from this is the cost of brass is actually dramatically going up. Now, if you are somebody who wants to get a wand because you want to upgrade for your business, because you want something that's going to be durable to keep you going for many years to come, then brass may not be the way forwards, mainly just due to that wear and tear and a lot of stress under high pressure where brass can actually fail. That's why people are now moving on to stainless steel all the way through, because they want that guaranteed added security that nothing's going to go wrong. Recently, my friend asked me whether I could help clean up some of his cars at his garage as he was a man down, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to give the new Lance a test drive. Plus, it's always nice to work on an R34. My high pressure hose is phenomenal, but you can see the brass fittings were starting to show some signs of wear and tear. One thing I would say is the quick release is slightly stiffer compared to the brass versions I've used in the past, so I didn't feel this one was as easy to connect, but then again it has to be if it's to offer that long-term durability. I always find when attaching new nozzles on, it's a good idea to do a test shot away from the vehicle just to play it safe in case you haven't connected it properly, as the last thing you would want to do is cause any damage if it flew off. Back to the gun, and you can feel the difference instantly from the second you pull the trigger. It feels buttery smooth and there's no real fatigue even after longer periods of time. So I was definitely in my element using this. I also love those wide nozzles that just wipe out the bubbles in seconds. And looking at everything as a whole, I still feel I have a fantastic pressure washer, and the combination of the machine, the hose, and now the stubby gun just makes it incredible. And from a professional standpoint, this setup would last you many years to come. So we get back to some more clips in a moment's time, but I know what you're thinking. Is it really necessary for a beginner just to have a tool like this to wash your car occasionally, even if you're a weekend warrior? And the answer is no, not really. You don't need to go for something like this. If you are a professional in the business and you're going to be hammering through hundreds of cars a year, definitely, I really do recommend going for something like this. And I want to go back to what I said earlier on about this being the Rolex of the detailing world. Not everybody cares about watches. I'm one of those people. I don't care for flashy watches or flashy anything for that matter. I've got a mobile phone. It can do exactly the same thing as a Rolex. It tells the time. And I think with tools like this, if you really do appreciate the fine build quality and you're a bit of a car connoisseur, then of course you're going to go for something like this. I think for people who just like to wash their car maybe 30 or 40 times a year, I think you're probably going to be just good enough sticking with your domestic pressure washer gun. And I think there are some other budget options that you really could go for if it's not something that you're that fussed about. I mean, I started off using a bucket, a watering can, and just the basics when I began my detailing career. I had nothing, or car washing career, let's say. And it took many years for me to gradually work my way up the ladder before I even started getting things like this. So don't look at this going, oh, this is what I need to get now. Yeah, there could be a time and a place when you do go for something like this, but if you can't afford it right now, there's definitely no shame in just sticking with some of the basics and building your career up and building up that reputation so you get to a point when eventually you can really have the best of the best.
Because of the quality, there will be a premium, and the prices are a little eye-watering, but there is a good reason why. Because in all seriousness, the effort behind bringing this together was nothing short of monumental. The gun body was carefully crafted in Italy, then flown to the USA. Meanwhile, the Mosmatic fittings travelled from Switzerland to the UK. Finally, the gun makes its way from the USA to the UK, where a specialised team carries out the final assembly with absolute precision. So this isn't just a pressure washer upgrade, it's a global operation that reflects a serious commitment to quality. And the cost of all this quality? The MTM stubby gun is £140, the Mosmatic Lance £85, the Mosmatic 40-degree nozzle £45. So that's a grand total of £270.
One thing that really baffles me is the amount of love people get for using a stubby gun without using the lance attachment, because when you've got it with one hand, you do have a lot of pressure coming through, and it does feel like you're constantly fighting a pressure washer, not just with this, but with any pressure washer gun when you're using just a stubby gun. It feels so powerful and you can feel that kickback, but when you've got the lance, you've always got two hands on it, which means that you've got more control. It's sensible. See, look now, you don't really use one hand, and even if you do use one hand, you've got more weight on it, which is reducing that kickback from happening. So I just feel I'm not somebody who's ever going to recommend that you wash a car just using a stubby gun like this. It takes far too long. You get soaking wet because you've got to get close to the vehicle. You can't lean over and spray to the other side either. I just feel that there's no point in going for something like this on its own when you haven't got all the right tools. If you're going to get a pressure washer gun and do it properly, you may as well get the whole kit. Oh, I've got some more news. So I have a brand new channel. Well, it's not a new channel, it's an old channel, but it's been revitalized. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to start sharing behind the scenes and YouTube shorts and do some other random clips on the channel. So I didn't want to put it all on this one. So if you head over to the link in the description below, actually I will put a link here where you can go and see it as well. You're going to get to see behind the scenes what really goes on. I'm going to talk about up and coming videos, talk about previous videos, talk about all the different kinds of drama that goes on in the YouTube world behind the scenes, because it's not as glamorous as people think. I'm standing here in an old chicken shed as I say that. Anyway, join us next week as we will have some more very special videos on their way. See you later. Bye.